Okay, we're on Shabbat, Perek Yud Bet, Mishnah Aleph. We turn to a new chapter, almost halfway through the Masechta, and now we turn to many of the other melachot. We finally turn our way from the notion of Rab Reshut Rabim for at least a little while. It says in Mishnah, boneh. Boneh building is one of the avot melachot. So what is it? Kama yivneh v'yechayav. How much should you build? So the Mishnah says, haboneh kolshu. You build any amount. Now this is an interesting question. What happens if I have a screw? Do I turn the screw a little bit? Is that considered melachah boneh? It's a little difficult to quantify what's considered building. If I have a hole and I plaster it, that's plastering. Is that considered building? All of those things are for poskim. But the Mishnah says, haboneh kolshu. You build any amount. That's an av melachah, and that's asur b'doraita on Shabbat. V'amisatet. Misatet means if you chop stone to shape out stone. Bartuner says mirabea et ha'even. You're shaping the stone. Your mirabea means from ribua, to make it a rectangle. Hamakeh b'patish. Makeh b'patish is the final hammer blow. Makeh b'patish is very interesting. He gmar melacha shel chutzvei even. The people who would hew rocks, who would quarry rocks, is the last action. After they already quarried out the rock, and you separated it, you have one final hammer blow, and he falls, and the hammer falls. So I found this really nifty video on YouTube. This guy's basically splitting, and they make these teeny little cuts, and I have it at the point where you can basically see you watch the last cut. See if you can see it. He's making these teeny little cuts, right? He makes 1, 2, that's it. That last one is the makeh b'patish. The last cut is amazing because that's the cut that makes something into a final thing. So any action, that's what the Bartuner says. Kol hagomer melacha b'Shabbat. Any completing of an action, a finishing of an action, the final hammer blow, tolda d'makeh b'patishi is a tolda, is a subcategory of makeh b'patish. The problem is it's a huge category because it could mean anything. What's the final action of makeh b'patish? So that's why you have poskim to apply this rule. But that's the general rule of makeh b'patish. Makeh b'patish u'b'matzad. A matzad is an adze, which is a weird kind of axe. These are adzes. It's a nifty kind of axe. It's not an axe that's made to cut wood. It's made to cut stone and stuff. Okay, that's it. You have to look it up. Hakodea kolshu, or you bore a hole, you drill any amount, chayav. All those things are chayav mishum boneh. Zaklal. This is the rule. Kolos melachah. If you do the work, the melachah. U'melachto mitkayemet b'Shabbat, and his melacha endures, it stays on Shabbat, chayav. Meaning it would seem to be that you did work that has some permanence to it, then you're chayav. That's chayav mishum boneh. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says, Av hamakeh, let's make it clear. Av hamakeh b'kurnas al hasadan. Kurnas is the metal hammer. That what they would do is when they were banging out like sheets of metal, they would bang out the gold sheets or the copper sheets. They would bang them b'kurnas with a hammer. Al hasadan. Sadan is the anvil b'shat melacha. So even the person who bangs with his hammer on the anvil during the work, chayav. Because it's fixing for the melachah. Let's read the Bartuner to see what's going on. Why would you bang with your hammer on the anvil, not on the metal? If you bang on the metal, clearly you're boneh. Why would you bang on the anvil? Okay. You're not banging on the metal sheet. Remember, they would use the metal sheet. They would bang in order to flatten it out. You're banging on the anvil. Mitakenu. That's mitaken. Why? Shekain muradidei tasei mishkan. The people who would flatten out, they were flattening out the metal sheets that they would use to cover over the different parts. Hayuosin. This is what they would do. Makin al hatas shalosh hakaot. You're hitting the metal sheet 3 hits. Sadan haka'achad. Then they would hit the anvil 1 time. Why? Lachlik hakornas. They wanted to flatten out, smooth out the hammer. Shalo yibaka hatas shudak. And because the metal sheets, they would make them so thin because they wanted to use it to cover whatever it was, gold or whatever. But in order for it to be perfectly flat, you had to have the hammer be perfectly flat. So part of that was they would bang on the anvil to flatten out the hammer. So therefore, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, says that banging of the hammer on the anvil was part of the melacha, and therefore it's considered chayav because of boneh, because it's mitaken melacha. It's fixing the melacha. Chachamim obviously disagree. They held that bang on the anvil is not melacha, only if you bang on the metal sheet itself. We'll stop here. dedicated to learning to the memory of my father, of Simcha Yitzchak Kalman. And if you have any comments or questions, email me at rspolter@gmail.com. People do it. Have a good day.